On this day, May 26, 1994, a massive earthquake of 7.3 magnitude hit the Russian peninsula of Kamchatka. But this was no ordinary quake. It was the most violent tremor to ever hit Russia, and it even rivaled the catastrophic Tohoku earthquake in Japan that triggered the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. But despite its tremendous power, many outside of Russia barely remember this quake today. Why, and how come there aren't more people talking about this? In today's episode, we're going to uncover the untold story behind Russia's recent 8.8 magnitude earthquake and explore why such a powerful natural disaster has been largely forgotten by the world. To start off, let's delve into the details of this powerful earthquake. The quake struck at 2:45 a.m. local time on May, with an epicenter near the town of Uyka, which is around 140 kilometers from Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, the largest city on the peninsula. At first glance, it might seem that this remote location would shield the quake from densely populated regions. But don't be fooled. Despite its distance from major population centers, the impact of this earthquake was far-reaching and its effects still resonate today. According to reports from the United States Geological Survey, the earthquake had an astounding maximum Mercalli intensity of X, indicating catastrophic damage. This was not just a tremor that rattled windows. It was a violent event that devastated entire communities. The quake had a significant depth of 70 kilometers, which, while reducing the intensity on the surface, allowed it to affect a larger area than a shallower quake of similar magnitude. The depth also played a role in the relatively low number of fatalities, but we'll discuss that later. In terms of economic impact, the 1994 earthquake is estimated to have caused over $1 billion in damages. That's equivalent to approximately $1.7 billion in today's value. What's truly remarkable is that this figure includes reconstruction costs alone, not accounting for the human suffering, environmental impact, or long-term consequences. It shook the foundations of homes, businesses, and essential infrastructure, leaving thousands without shelter and vital services. But beyond the immediate aftermath, there were ripple effects felt throughout the region and the nation. Many buildings were completely destroyed, collapsing into rubble after the violent shaking. Roads were cracked and buckled, disrupting transportation and supply chains. Essential utilities like water mains and gas lines were ruptured, posing additional challenges to the residents. Hospitals were damaged, hindering the ability to provide critical medical services during a time when they were desperately needed. In the wake of this catastrophe, thousands found themselves homeless, seeking refuge in temporary shelters while they grappled with the loss of their homes and belongings. The psychological toll on the survivors was equally devastating. People were left traumatized by the suddenness and intensity of the earthquake. Grappling with fear and uncertainty about their future, the sense of community was also shaken as families and neighbors struggled to come to terms with the shared tragedy. While the material damage can be measured in monetary terms, the emotional scars run deeper and often last for generations. In the aftermath of this disaster, the Russian government and international aid organizations mobilized resources to assist the affected population. Relief efforts focused on providing essential supplies such as food, water, and medical aid to those who had been displaced or injured. However, the logistical challenges of reaching the remote areas hit by the earthquake posed significant hurdles to these relief operations. As the world watched and waited for the full extent of the damage to be assessed, the international community rallied together to provide support. Countries and organizations from around the globe sent emergency aid and dispatched experts to assist in the rescue and recovery efforts. The outpouring of global solidarity offered a glimmer of hope in the face of such a massive disaster. Yet even with the best efforts of first responders, aid workers, and volunteers, the path to recovery was long and arduous. Rebuilding homes and restoring essential services were only the first steps in a process that would span years. The true measure of the quake's impact is not only in the physical destruction, but also in the lives upended and futures uncertain. Now let's talk about the intriguing aspect of the death toll. You would expect an earthquake of this magnitude to have a much higher casualty rate. The 1994 Kamchatka earthquake claimed the lives of around 2,000 people. At first glance, this figure might seem surprisingly low considering the quake's severity, but several factors contributed to this relatively low toll. Firstly, the earthquake struck in the early hours of the morning when many people were asleep, which likely reduced the number of casualties. Additionally, the depth of the earthquake, while causing widespread shaking, somewhat lessened the impact at the surface, mitigating the potential for severe injuries and fatalities. However, it's important to note that this does not diminish the tragedy of the event. Each life lost is a profound loss, and our deepest sympathies are with the families and friends of the victims. In fact, the relatively low death toll can be attributed to a combination of geographical and temporal factors. The earthquake occurred at a time when many people were asleep, which likely reduced the number of casualties. Moreover, the region's relative remoteness meant that the affected area was not densely populated, limiting the overall impact. While it's impossible to predict with certainty what the death toll could have been under different circumstances, it's possible that the timing and location of the earthquake helped to mitigate the loss of life. This brings us to a pivotal question. Why don't we hear more about this catastrophic event today? One reason is the geographic isolation of Kamchatka. The peninsula's remoteness means that many outside of Russia may not have been directly impacted or connected to the event. As a result, it has unreceived the same level of global attention as earthquakes that have occurred in more populated areas. Secondly, the event didn't receive extensive media coverage outside of Russia due to various factors, including the limited reach of international news outlets in the region at the time and the focus on other global events. This lack of media attention has contributed to the event being largely forgotten. Furthermore, the post-Soviet economic challenges faced by Russia may have also played a role in diverting attention away from the disaster. In the aftermath of the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia faced significant economic and political turmoil. This could have led to the earthquake being overshadowed by other pressing issues on the national and international agenda. It's also worth noting that collective memory and historical narratives are often shaped by numerous factors, including the prominence given to events by governments, media outlets, and educational institutions. The 1994 Kamchatka earthquake may not have received the same level of emphasis in these narratives, leading to it being overshadowed by other historical events. However, it's as crucial to acknowledge that the lack of global awareness about this event does not diminish its significance. The 1994 Kamchatka earthquake remains a pivotal moment in Russian history, profoundly impacting the lives of those who experienced it. It serves as a reminder of the immense power of nature and the importance of preparedness in the face of such disasters. Despite being largely forgotten by the world, the memories of those who lived through the earthquake endure. Their stories serve as a testament to the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity and the resilience of communities in the face of tragedy. As we reflect on this event, we are reminded of the importance of learning from past disasters and investing in robust infrastructure and early warning systems to better prepare for future earthquakes. By understanding the causes, impacts, and lessons learned from earthquakes like the one in Kamchatka, we can work towards creating safer and more resilient communities worldwide. It is also essential to recognize the invaluable contributions of first responders, aid workers, and volunteers who selflessly rushed to help in the aftermath of the disaster. Their bravery and dedication in the face of such immense devastation should be celebrated and emulated. So while the world may have moved on to other events, it is crucial to remember and learn from the 1994 Kamchatka earthquake. By keeping its memory alive, we honor the victims, pay tribute to the heroes, and ensure that such a tragedy is never forgotten. In conclusion, the 1994 Kamchatka earthquake stands as a powerful reminder of the destructive force of nature and the importance of preparedness. While the world may have moved on to other events, it is crucial to remember and learn from this tragedy. By doing so, we honor the victims, celebrate the heroism of first responders, and strive to build safer and more resilient communities worldwide. Let us ensure that the memory of this earthquake continues to guide us towards a future where we are better equipped to face the challenges posed by seismic events.